So shout out the real Quinton Mayo. This guy is a beast. Probably one of the next biggest NBA insiders. He right now works for as an insider for the Wizards and BetMGM. Guy's a freaking stud. Shout out real Quinton Mayo. Go follow him on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you get your news. But real Quinton Mayo said that Bradley Beal is truly undecided about his future. I literally just hopped out the shower, as you guys can tell, and made this video. So, guys, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think Bradley Beal's leaving? I personally don't think. You don't leave $250 million on the table. If he really wants out, sign the $250 million contract, give him one more season, and get out of there, okay? And I think that's what Bradley Beal's thinking. Let me sign this bag, okay? And if we'll give this team 1, maybe 2 years. If they can't put a championship contending roster, then I'll move on. But the reason why he's truly undecided on if he's going to stay with the Washington Wizards is due to the fact that he saw who he has a good relationship, Jayson Tatum, which is ironic how much younger Jayson Tatum is. Can anyone explain why they have such a good relationship? Is it through Team USA, or did he play on his AAU team? I know Bradley Beal has an AAU team, so I didn't know if Jayson Tatum, when he was younger and Bradley Beal was just starting in the NBA, if he was on the AAU team that was sponsored or coached by Bradley Beal. I want to know the relationship of their thing, because supposedly they're really good friends, Bradley Beal and Jayson Tatum, and supposedly watching Jayson Tatum make it to the NBA Finals really made it hard for Bradley Beal. And that's where I want to come in, and I'm thinking, what's the validity behind that? Because if I feel like Bradley Beal, he's going to stay. I know this is me being biased as a Wizards fan, but you don't leave $250 million on the table. You don't leave $250 million on the table, okay? And every time we see someone that potentially might leave the money on the table, it literally gets turned down so quick. Why? Because no one leaves $250 million on the table. And maybe I'm just being harsh, but that's how I see it, okay? And it's not even like I'm money grubbing. Somebody's going to go in the comments and go money isn't everything. I know, but there's a difference between getting paid $171 million and $250 million. That's like an $80 million difference. Anyone in their right mind would take that and then try to give it another year in Washington. And then if it's really that bad, he can just request a trade and refuse to show up, which will work out because that way, somebody will trade for him. I know he'll be overpriced, or if he doesn't put up the stats that need to go with it. But I personally think the best thing for them would be, for him would be to stay in Washington for one more year, see if they can bring in somebody, because right now I think Beal's aware that if he stays, there's a chance that they could entice Kevin Durant to come. And imagine KD, Kristaps, and Bradley Beal. It's a pretty decent team in my opinion. And the other thing is who else is going to offer Bradley Beal a contract? I don't know who else would give Bradley Beal a deal besides, obviously the Celtics connection. I guess it's the Miami Heat who would also go after him. And I just feel like the news about Bradley Beal, I'm going to put on my socks while we do this, but I feel like the news of Bradley Beal is just too vague for anything to happen. Okay. At the same time, it's too vague for something to happen. Usually when stuff is this vague, it's because something's about to go down. So that is always the case of what could happen. And I obviously, as a Wizards fan, I want him to stay in the DC area. Obviously, that's what I assume will happen, because you don't leave $250 million on the table. You don't. Even if you hate the team, which he doesn't. He said repeatedly, I want to be the Dirk Nowitzki of the Wizards. I want to be the Dirk Nowitzki of the Wizards. He wants to be a one-team guy. And he also reiterated mid-season that it's a good feeling to be wanted. That's something he has said repeatedly, that he likes the feeling of being wanted and being that guy. And I think that a lot of people don't carry that into consideration about how important that is. But for me, I think that is really important. It's something that people don't realize how important it truly is. So that's where I want to hear your thoughts on this whole situation. What do you guys think? What's going to happen and why? But besides that, I got an NFL channel. Link is in the description. So is my NBA. We have a daily NBA show. We go every single day. We started going daily this past week. We're on all streaming services, Apple Podcasts, Google, Overcast, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. It's the NBA show, Aseo and Upton for legal purposes, but we just refer to it as the NBA show. And Go check it out. I have Zero NFL, my NFL channel, that's actually starting to pop off, guys. Thank you so much for that. I started it a week ago, and we're almost at like 200 subscribers, but we have like so many views on there. So very thankful for